good to hear from you as well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dhanwad Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. This is Niharika from Bloomington.
Hare Krishna, Niharika Mataji. Dhanwad Pranam. All Gaur Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Niharika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji. Dhanwad Pranam. All Gaur Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Niharika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. This is Radharani Devidasi from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Radharani Mataji. Dhanwad Pranam. All Gaur Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Niharika Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Niharika Mataji. Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Guru Maharaj ki Jai. This is Shyamadori Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shama Gauri Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for joining the call, Mataji. All Guru Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dhanwad Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Mataji. Dhanwad Pranam. All Guru Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Niharika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Dhanwad Pranam. All Guru Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, my Dandavat Pranam to you and all the assembled devotees. Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. This is Shivani from Ashburn, Virginia.
Hare Krishna, Shivani Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All Guru Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Niharika Mataji. All Guru Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajas. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji. Dhanwad Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All Guru Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Niharika Mataji. This is Sukumar Kidasi from Baltimore. Please accept my humble obeisances. All Guru Srila Prabhupada, all Guru Maharaj, and all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Kaumudiki Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All Guru Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Very nice greeting. And also you're chanting very nice too. Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Shall we start recording, Mataji? Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today, we are very fortunate to have His Grace Sukumar Gaur Prabhuji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 3, verse 13 onwards, and also about the glories of Purushottam Das Thakur. Before that, I would like to hand over the call to Tiffany Mataji for the brief introduction of Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. His Grace Sukumar Gaur Prabhuji was born in Maharashtra, India in 1980. Brought up in a social background where spirituality was often questioned, he developed a natural taste for inquiry into the mysteries of God's creation. Prabhuji passed College of Engineering, Pune, in mechanical engineering in 2003. He came in touch with the devotees of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in 2003, and he found all his questions answered in the books of Srila Prabhupada. As an MBA student of finance, he studied Srila Prabhupada's books and became a sincere practitioner. Later, he took on a 2-year brahmachari training course in Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Temple, Mumbai, and was initiated into the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj in 2010. Sukumar Gaur Prabhuji always wanted to share his joy for Krishna consciousness with youth, so he gave up his job and began serving in the youth preaching department. He joined ISKCON Chowpatty as a resident in 2009. Later, he was posted to the ISKCON Nasik temple. He is serving as a youth counselor in various colleges in Nasik. He conducts seminars on personality development topics in educational and corporate sectors. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Please take over, Niharika.
Thank you so much, Tiffany Mataji. Dhanwad Pranam. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanwad Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very, very so much for giving your valuable time and association with us this morning, Prabhuji, on the enlightening of this topic. I request you to please take over the call. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. So we'll start with the invocation prayers and then we'll take on to the shloka. Om Jnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namao Vishnupada Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitanamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhate Girim Yat Krapa Tamum Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Paramananda. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 3, Text 13. Since it is a prose, we'll not read the shloka. We'll directly go to the translation. Dear Lord, here is the great King Nabhi, whose ultimate goal in life is to have a son like you. Your Lordship, his position is like that of a person approaching a very rich man and begging for a little grain. Maharaj Nabhi is so desirous of having a son that he is worshipping you for a son. Although you can offer him any exalted position, including elevation to heavenly planets or liberation back to Godhead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The priests were a little ashamed that King Nabhi was performing a great sacrifice just to ask the Lord benediction for a son. The Lord could offer him promotion to heavenly planets or the Vaikuntha planets. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us how to approach the Supreme Lord and ask him for the ultimate benediction. He said, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kame. He did not want to ask the Supreme Lord for anything material. Material opulence means riches, a nice family, a good wife, and many followers. But an intelligent devotee doesn't ask the Supreme Lord for anything material. His only prayer is, Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahituki Tvai. He wants to be engaged perpetually in the loving service of the Lord. He does not want promotion to heavenly planets or mukti, liberation from material bondage. If this were the case, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not have said, Mama Janmani Janmani. It does not matter to a devotee whether or not he takes birth, life after life, as long as he remains a devotee. Actually, eternal liberty means returning home back to Godhead. A devotee is never concerned about anything material. Although Nabhi Maharaj wanted a son like Vishnu, wanting a son like God is also a form of sense gratification. A pure devotee wants only to engage in the Lord's loving service. Hare Krishna. So we welcome all the devotees for this morning session. I'm so grateful to all of you for allowing me a chance to make a presentation on this Srimad Bhagavatam and Canto 5th, So if we read this shloka, which is a prose, it starts with kincha. Kincha means in addition to. What does in addition to means? In addition to means what has already been said in the previous shloka, that is, we are supposing that it has been considered by the Lord. And in addition to that, now what I'll be asking, you grant me that. This is the meaning of kincha. So what was spoken in addition? So we'll just have a brief summary and then we'll come to this shloka, which is a very important shloka. And Prabhupada's purport in itself is a very powerful purport. So we'll try and see if what we can learn from this purport Srila Prabhupada has given. So from shloka number 4 to shloka number 15, this section are the prayers offered by the priest. And now we know the scenario that there has been a great yajna that has been performed here. And for the yajna to give proper results, the priest and the yajman, the one who is performing for a certain purpose, the yajman, they both have to be qualified. And that is only when you get the proper results of the yajna. Just like here, the word used for Navi Maharaj is Raja Rishi. Raja Rishi is in itself shows that he was a very qualified king. And the priests were also qualified, which we understand because the Lord has personally given darshan to them. So it is the combined strength of the priest and the yajman, which is very important and crucial in calling the Lord. If either of them is not qualified, then we don't get the desired results. Just like we see that in case of Anga Maharaj in the 4th canto, the priests were qualified, but the demigods were not coming down and receiving the part of their oblation. Why? Because King Anga had some sinful reactions from his past life, and that is why they were not coming and receiving their part of the sacrifice. So that is where he has to get cleared of the past sinful reactions. We also see in Ramayana there is a case where Vishwamitra and Trishanku. Trishanku had a desire to go to Swarga in the heavenly planets in this same self body. And without his consideration, without considering whether he is a suitable candidate to be sent to the heavens or not, Vishwamitra, just out of his pride and his envy towards Vashishta Rishi, he performs a great sacrifice. And it so happens that Trishanku goes, he started moving towards the Swargaloka. But then we see what happens. There is a sudden turn of event and Indra throws back Trishanku down on this planet. And then he's been tossed up and down, up and down. And just to satisfy his ego, we see that Vishwamitra creates a duplicate, a same planet like the heavens. But the problem that happens is, now see, this is all happening due to the strong ego that Vishwamitra Muni has, and he wants to show Vashishta that he is greater than him. He creates a planet, but the problem is, now this is a sacrifice to send Trishanku to heavens, but in between he is creating a new heavens for Trishanku without considering whether Trishanku is qualified or not. And that is where when the planet is created, but how do you put the planet in the orbit? Creating is easy, but maintaining is the difficult part. And that is where when the planet starts moving here and there and it is about to collide with some other planets, and that is where Vishwamitra realizes his mistake, that something very wrong has taken place. And that is where he loudly calls out the name of Lord Vishnu. And his intensity in calling out for help from Lord Vishnu is so great that Lord Vishnu appears before him. And we see that Lord Vishnu tells him that first promise me that you will not do any mistake of such sort again. And that is where Vishwamitra Rishi promises him, and the Lord takes charge of that planet and he puts it in the orbit. And also Trishanku is not qualified to go to the Swarga, and this duplicate Swarga which was created for him, and that is where Lord Vishnu puts him upside down and he's still hanging in that Swarga. So the point is that the priest and the Yajman both have to be qualified. It is not just a mere display of power that is happening here. They both have to be qualified, and that is where we get proper results. Then, just like we saw that this 13th shloka is starting by the word kincha. Kincha means in addition to whatever has been said before. Kincha means moreover. Just like if we say that there is a camera which helps deter the potential criminal, moreover, it helps the police to deal with crime also. Means it will check out who the potential criminal is, and also on top of that, it will help. So that is how we use the word moreover. Means the previous things also will be given, and what I'm asking now will also is taken into consideration. What have the priest said before? So in the 4th and 5th shloka, we have seen that the priests are saying, when the Lord appears, they are saying that, "Oh Lord, please accept a little service from we all priests who have conducted this yajna for this Yajman, King Nabi." So the priests are saying, please accept our respect offered to you repeatedly in the line of the great devotees. Now they are saying, the point is, they are saying that whatever we are doing is as per what we have been taught by the parampara. Just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, that I have been offering a flower to Krishna for so many years, but still he has not accepted my flower. Now it is out of genuine humility that Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying this. But the point is, Krishna will not accept any worship which is outside the parampara. Even if he accepts, the full results will not be given. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, by giving the example of flower, is saying, I've been offering flower from so long, but still Krishna has not accepted my flower. If the acharyas are in this mood, so we have to have that genuine mood of humility. So the priests are saying we are doing everything that is being taught to us by the parampara. So the parampara factor is very important. In any yajna, even if you are doing a Narsimha yajna or a daily Agnihotra yajna at your place, till the time we offer respects to our Guru Maharaj, to the parampara, we are not getting any benefits. So this is what in the 4th and 5th shloka they are trying to bring out before the Lord, that we are doing everything that has been taught to us by the parampara. Then the priests are saying, my dear Lord, we do not know the method of worshipping and glorifying you. The Lord is amazed. How come they are saying like this? The Lord says, but you are all learned devotees. You know everything. Why do you hesitate to praise me? Then the priests are saying that, my dear Lord, it is true, we know. But what do we know? We know nothing about the spiritual life. We know everything that is related to the material life. Our knowledge is related to the Prakriti, material world and its component. And there is no possibility that we can make somebody else understand a person who is of a spiritual quality through the material words. Just like very often we use this word, that the feet of the Lord are like the lotus. But it is not so. It is not so. The best of the best thing that the material creation affords is a lotus, and that is why we are using this. That is why we are using it as an example to compare it to the Lord. The acharyas in their commentary, they say that when we see Lord Krishna face to face, we will be crying. Now for what? They'll say that, my dear Lord, I'm so sorry. But for what? We will say that the Lord, that the example to compare you, we gave was that of a lotus, but you are far, far, far more beautiful than a lotus. I'm sorry, I compared you with the wrong thing. And that is the same mood the priests are having. They're saying, my dear Lord, we have that knowledge, but it is all material. We can't describe you through the material knowledge. Just like sometimes we say Krishna Chandra. Okay, but the moon of this world is full of spots. The face of Lord Krishna is absolutely spotless. We cannot compare, but there is nothing that we can compare. That is why we are using this. And this is the genuine humility the priests are showing, my dear Lord, we don't have the spiritual knowledge to glorify you. Then the Lord say, okay, you can describe my form using spiritual objects. Then the priests say that, my dear Lord, we only have some trace of bhakti. How come they are saying this? Because they are saying that, my dear Lord, the point that we have called you here is for a material reason. It's not a spiritual reason. That will be cleared in the upcoming shloka. Since we have material desires to fulfill, that in itself shows that our minds are absorbed in this material creation. So it is not possible for us to comprehend spiritual objects. If we are thinking that we know something of the spiritual life, it is to the extent how far we have gone from the material life. So detachment from matter and attachment to Krishna are directly proportional. If the more we are attached to Krishna, the more we are detached from the material life. But here the priests are saying, my dear Lord, we have called you for the exclusive purpose of fulfilling our material desires. And the priests are saying in the 6th shloka that, my dear Lord, please accept our simple offering in the form of fruit, leaves, whatever we have been collecting for you. But all of a sudden, the priest realized that, my dear Lord, you are not at all interested in these items. You are interested in is bhakti. And the priests are feeling regretful that, my dear Lord, we don't have any devotion for you. The 6th shloka, they are showing that we lack devotion to you. In the 7th and the 8th shloka, when the priest understood that the Lord is not interested in all this elaborate yagyas, since he is already self-satisfied and his opulences are increasing in every single moment, then the priests, they are feeling that, they remember that the Lord may be feeling that you need not perform all this elaborate yagyas. But the priests are conveying the message that, my dear Lord, we need to worship you. Why? Because we need something material. Our material desires are to be fulfilled through you. So the point is, yajna or any form of worship is just a means to establish relationship with the Lord. The Lord is so eager that he just is waiting for that one step from our side. Now you may say, is this the ego of the Lord? That he wants us to come and then only he will come? No, it's not like that. The point is, Lord has done everything that is required for us. He has done his part 100%. And that is why he now wants us to come, take a step. He says, you take one step, I'll take 100 steps. And his steps are not the same steps as ours. In 2 steps, he has covered the entire planet, 14 planetary systems. We know this in the case of Bali Maharaj. So this yajna or the worship is just meant to establish that relationship with the Lord. And when the Lord sees that this entity is taking so much of efforts, he is very easily pleased and he grants us a benediction. That is what the priests are trying to say. You don't need the worship, but we need to worship it because we want to establish a relation. May it be based on material desires. Nothing, it's not wrong. It's okay. But we want that step from our side to be taken. Now, after this 7th and 8th shloka, the priests are saying that we don't have bhakti, we all are behind material desires. Then the question is, why did the Lord appear then if they had material desires in the first place? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes a very beautiful purport, and Prabhupada also mentions in the purport. It is just like a wise man when he sees a foolish person trying to harm himself, just to remove his ignorance and give him the right knowledge. Avidusham, balisham, what words they are using for themselves? Avidusham, we are not at all knowledgeable. Balisham, we are childish. And that is why, my dear Lord, it is out of your sheer mercy that you have come here before us to grant us liberation from this material world. Now, how is the Lord granting liberation? By making them realize of his glories. By making us realize that how glorious this master is. How glorious this person is, that he has done everything possible for me and still he is eagerly waiting for me to take that first step. For Arjuna, he is ready to become a chariot driver. Many people ask this question, will he become a chariot driver for me? 100%, don't doubt. We have to do our part of becoming Arjuna. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, it is out of sheer curiosity to see the sacrifice. Oh, such great sacrifice. Let me go and see. That is how he is eager. He is to establish that relationship for a sadhaka. The eagerness of the Lord is shown in the 8th shloka. Then the Lord says, okay, it's okay. It's all right. You know me or you don't know me. You may have bhakti or you may not have bhakti. You have material desires or you don't have material desires. Now that I have appeared, you ask for some benediction. That's it. And then in the 10th shloka, the priests are saying, my dear Lord, your appearance in itself is the greatest benediction. Your name is Varada Rishabha. You are the best of the benefactors. And your appearance in this sacrifice is the most valuable benediction for us. And feeling obliged. Now the Lord himself is saying, please ask something. I have come. I understand everything. You are not qualified. You are this, you are that, you are fallen. You don't have knowledge. You don't have bhakti. You have material desire. It's all okay. Now that I have come, ask something. And out of that obligation, they are saying that, my dear Lord, they are still not able to speak. The priest, they are still not able to speak. They are saying that, my dear Lord, having your darshan is rare even for Lord Brahma, to the elevated sages who have burned up all their contamination in the fire of knowledge, who have attained all your qualities and who are self-satisfied. Even for them, your darshan is the rarest thing. And that darshan we are now getting face to face. We are able to see you. And that is why they are feeling so awkward, because what they want to ask is so silly. It will come in the next shloka. And then in the 12th shloka, the condition of the sages is given that even if we are unsteady, dull-minded, please give us the power to remember you. Give us the power so that we can remember you. Please make your names available to us. So they are asking for two things. Give us the power to remember you. Through what? Through your katha. And second, make your names available. That is your holy name. And this is exactly what His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada has given to us. The Srimad Bhagavat, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Bhagavad Gita, and the holy name. What are the sages who are standing before the Lord asking him, please give us the power to remember you by continuously hearing your katha and make your name accessible. And that is what Prabhupada, through the parampara, with the entire power of Krishna, has given us all these things so easily. The priests, after doing such elaborate yajnas, they are asking for katha and naam of the Supreme Lord. So that is the power of parampara. The parampara is so powerful. Prabhupada said, even if you are not qualified, the parampara will make you qualified. You just stick. You just be with the flow of the devotees. That's it. And what is the parampara doing? It is doing nothing. It is just repeating the words of the Supreme Lord. That is the most powerful thing. We feel that I'll get this thing and I'll get this story and that story. That is okay. That is nice. The main point is, are you repeating the things that the Lord wants the devotees to hear? That repetition has strength. Parampara has done nothing. What did Srila Prabhupada say? He said, I am just repeating the words of my Guru Maharaj. That is the power of the parampara. That will give us that strength. Now, since the Lord is personally saying that, please ask for a benediction, the priests are feeling very improper. They are feeling ashamed. Still they asked. Why? Because it was necessary. The entire yajna was conducted for this one material desire. And that is what the 13th shloka is saying. Describe the king's desires and describes whether the king's desire was proper or not. And that is the 13th shloka. The 13th shloka is kincha. Kincha means moreover. My dear Lord, up till the from 4th shloka to 12th shloka, we have already said this thing. You give us this also, just like the holy name, the katha, the benedictions, all these things you give. But on top of that, my dear Lord, you also fulfill one desire. What is that? Of whom I am Rajarishat, this pious king. What is his desire? Apatya kam. He desires a child. Okay, what does he desire? Does he desire a son or a daughter? Prajam, he desires a son. Okay, what kind of son does he want? exactly like you, my dear Lord. Lord is shocked. Exactly like me. Do you know who I am? They say, yes, we know, my dear Lord, you're Ishvara, you're the supreme controller. So the Lord is asking, if you know that I am the Ishvara, do you know what I can give you? They say, yes, we know, Lord. You can give us Swarga, Apavarga. You can take us to the heaven. You can even take us out of this material world. Swarga and Apavarga, both you can give. But what happens? This word but means whatever we have spoken, all nullified. The priest says, my dear Lord, he doesn't want all these things. What does he want? Prajayam artha pratyaya. To get a son like you, he has made this his ultimate goal of life. And while saying this, Prabhupada writes that the priests were feeling ashamed. How ashamed? Dhanadam iva adhanam falikaranam. Means adhanam means a rich man. Iva adhan means nirdhan, or poor man. Falikaran. A poor man goes to a rich man and he's asking for what? He's asking for a little husk. I don't know if you all know what is a husk. When you beat the rice comes out and the shell remains. That shell is called husk. The shell in which the rice is placed is called husk. So you go to a rich man and ask him for what? Give not even the rice. Give me the husk. Now, what is all this pointing towards? The priests are feeling that it is very petty thing to ask from a landlord or a rich man. You go to the billionaire and tell him, please give me 10 rupees. The priests are feeling that we have put the Lord himself in the awkward position and we also are in the awkward position. Because the priests are well versed with knowledge, they are well versed with what the Lord can give, but still they are performing this yajna for the king whose goal is to get a son. The Lord would have said, it is okay, but even the demigods would have fulfilled your desires, isn't it? Why call me? The point is, it is a disrespect. You go to a billionaire and you ask that billionaire, please give me 10 rupees. He'll say, he'll not even, I don't know how he would react. He would feel it's stupid. You can ask me crores of rupees and you're asking me 10 rupees. It's an insult to me. It's a disrespect to a rich man. And the same thing happened when Bali Maharaj, and when there is conversation between Bali Maharaj and Vamandev. Vamandev is asking for 3 steps of land and Bali Maharaj is saying, Aho Brahmanya Dayada, Vachate Vrutta Sattama. You are speaking like a very exalted person. Tvam Balo Balisha Mati. Oh my God, you are speaking great words, but your intelligence is very small. It is a Balishi, it is a childish. Swartam Pratyabudho Yata. You don't know your own self-interest. I can give you anything that you want. And you're asking 3 steps of land. It's so petty. It's a disrespect. And that's the exact mindset with this priest. They're feeling so awkward. What am I asking? What is this king asking? But the king has made that one thing his goal of life. He doesn't want anything else. Now the question is getting a son like Lord Vishnu wrong? Absolutely not. Prabhupada mentions that it's a material desire to have Lord Vishnu as your son. But when it is wrong, when you call Lord for a petty reason, King Nabhi would have got a son even by worshipping the demigods. But still he goes to Lord Vishnu. So the problem with King Nabhi was he had a material desire and his knowledge was also incomplete. What was his material desire? He was calling the Lord to become his son. For what reason? For his personal benefit. That Prabhupada will clarify later. And no proper knowledge means what? He called the Lord. Lord has to be called only when there is service that is to be rendered to the Lord. That is what the point Prabhupada is making. Why is the king's desire material? Because there is no tinge of rendering service to the Lord. There is no tinge of emotion of anything that I want to render some service. Prabhupada gives this example. You don't invite the deity form of the Lord in your house to show the world that, okay, now I'm a good devotee, I'm chanting 16 round, I'm doing this many things, and I'm a good devotee, and the Lord has come in my house. No, it's not for that. It's not a prestige issue. The Lord has exclusively to be called for service. Now you may imagine, why has this happened? King Navi is such a great king, coming in the line of Priyavrat Maharaj. How come this has happened? It's very simple. He is Rajarishi, but still having material desires. And why is this a material? Why has he got all these material desires? Because he had no opportunity to associate with great devotees. The next shloka will tell this. He had no opportunity to meet great devotees. His father, in the last chapter we have seen, Maharaj Agnidra is worshipping Lord Brahma to get a wife, to get good son. Why good son? Because he wants to go to the Pitraloka and enjoy. That is what an ideal he had in his life. And see from where it is. If you see Priyavrat Maharaj, how did Agnidra Maharaj come to birth? When he was in a very passionate state of mind. That is why Agnidra Maharaj is having such desires. Now, why is Navi Maharaj having such material desires? Because his father worshipped for some material. He had that as the ideal. It is coming in from down in generation after generation. That is what they are saying. He didn't have the chance. He didn't have the opportunity to associate with great devotees. Otherwise, the Supreme Lord himself is present. He would have gone back to Godhead. That is how Dhruva is regretting. He says, my dear Lord, I don't want anything. Take me back. He says, no, it is not possible now. The entire experiment that you conducted, Dhruva, was for this goal. The aim of your experiment was that I want a planet greater than Brahma. Now you have to have it because your experiment is completed. Whatever results are out, you have to accept them. That is why in 4.1, Prabhupada writes that the king is meant for the protection of citizen. What protection? Which protection? From material bondage of lust. And that is what the third chapter of Gita ends with, from 37 to 43. Krishna describes in great detail the phenomenon called as lust. That is where 4.1 begins, with all the Raja Rishis coming into picture. They have to protect the citizens from material lust. And exactly we see the same thing, Agnidra Maharaj and Purvachitti is all based on material lust. They themselves were unprotected from material lust. How would they protect the citizens? And what is this lust? Seeing oneself separate from the Creator. That's it. He is different, I am different. I want my share. His share is there in the Vaikuntha planet. Just like a tree and a leaf. No, leaf is a part of the tree. But where do we water? We water at the root of the tree. And when the root is watered, automatically every single leaf is nourished without any endeavor. Does the leaf make an endeavor to get water, oxygen, minerals, whatever food that are being taken by the roots? No, it doesn't make any effort. It just sticks with the tree. It makes sure that it doesn't fall. Similarly, in our devotional process, why do we worship Krishna? Because Krishna is like that root of the tree. And every individual entity is that single leaf. Does the leaf tell the root that please supply me this? No, the root knows what is lacking for that leaf. It has that confidence. Do we have that confidence that what I lack, the Lord knows, just because I'm connected with the Lord? The leaf doesn't make any separate endeavor. No. What the leaf does is he just remains on the tree, sticks to the branch wherever it is, and everything is provided. But what does this lust do? It's a separatist mentality. I want this, I want that, I want this. You need not ask. When you are in connection with the Supreme Lord, just like the leaf is connected to the tree, when we are connected to the Lord, automatic, this is an automatic process. No endeavors are to be put from our side. Don't. Our only endeavors are for our good chanting, our good hearing, our good reading, our association with devotees. That's it. And service to the Lord. Just like that leaf sticks and everything is automatically provided. It is the duty of the root, not the leaf. Similarly, it is the duty when we do our part, it is automatically going to come. We don't have to question mark whether the Lord will supply me this or not. I'm in so much of trouble. Will the Lord give me this or not? You don't have to speak. He knows, just because we are connected. But what does this lust do? That separatist mentality. I want this, I want that. Then the whole issue begins. Because we are separated. And when the leaf is separated, then it is of no good use. So two things Prabhupada is highlighting. Material desire means what? I want this and that. Versus what? Prabhupada writing in the last line, Prabhupada brings out that loving service to what a pure devotee expects is only loving service to Lord Krishna. There is a Nitya Baddha who wants a separate existence. There is a Nitya Siddha who wants to stay connected with the Lord. Just like a small child. When the child is small, he says, where is my mother? Where is my father? Where is my food? Where is my dress? Where is my room? Where is my play toy? Me, 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 me. But when he grows up, what is the sign of his grown up? Now he starts thinking, oh, now my parents are retired. How can I serve them nicely? They have done so much for me. That's exactly what is expected from us in devotional service. As we grow up, we start thinking about the Lord. Okay, how can I serve the Lord? How can I preach about the Lord? What new things I can do for the Lord? How can I improve my chanting? How can I improve my hearing? That's the exact difference. And that is the entry point. When we start thinking of the Lord, that is the entry point of getting an entry in the Krishna Loka, in the Vaikuntha Loka. Krishna has already done his part. Forget about Krishna not doing his part. He has already done. Bhumi, apo, analo, vayu, kham, mana, buddhi, revache. Ahankaritya me birna prakriti. I have given everything to you. You do whatever you want. He has done his part to his best. Not even he's doing every single moment. As soon as the Paramatma withdraws his power, this body will fall flat. Nothing doing. You can't digest, you can't breathe, you can't do anything. He is still serving. He's still rendering service to the jiva, even in the material world. So there is no question of saying that the Lord is not doing his part. The moment he stops doing his part, we are finished. And the pure devotees have no doubt about this, that the Lord has done his part. That is why they are so eager. I want to do this, I want to do that. Every moment they are living under the burden of gratitude. Who has done so much for me? I can't bear without doing. They can't tolerate. Once when His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj was asked, how come at this age you're doing so much for Prabhupada? And His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj started crying. He said, I haven't done anything for Prabhupada. I want to do so much for Prabhupada, but I have not been able to do. And who is this person? He has more than 60,000 disciples around the globe. Day and night he is traveling, meeting devotees. And what is he saying? I haven't done much. He's crying. There was an inaugural speech given by J.F. Kennedy. This is January 20, 1961. Just spoke 2 lines. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. As we grow in devotional service, now we have to ask. We should not be asking what Krishna is going to do for me. Now it's our turn. What we can do for Krishna. Now it is my turn. What I can do for Krishna. And this is the entry point for Krishna Leela. 2 things. having deep connection with Krishna, and the mindset is, our Lord has already done so much for me, now what I can do. And the same thing Prabhupada is bringing out in the last line of his purport. Although Nabi Maharaj wanted a son like Vishnu, wanting a son like Vishnu is also a form of sense gratification. Why? A pure devotee wants only to engage in the loving service of the Lord. Means Nabi Maharaj lacked the aspect of service, and that is why it is termed here as sense gratification. Here, Nabi Maharaj wants a son not for a higher purpose. What is that higher purpose? Krishna has already mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Paritranaya sadhuna, vinashaya chatushtya, dharma samsthapanarthaya, sambhavami. I come here with a purpose. My only purpose is this. There is no other purpose. So the purpose of calling the Lord is told by the Lord himself. So he doesn't. So the question may be asked, so doesn't he come to fulfill the desire of if some devotee wants a son like the Lord? So doesn't the Lord come for that? Yes, he comes. You can have the example of the Vrajvasis in 10th canto. The Brahma Vimohan, after the Brahma Vimohan Leela, the Lord expanded himself as all the Vrajvasi kids and all the calves of the Vrajvasis. And for 1 full year, the Lord served his devotees. He accepted their service and he also rendered service to them. 1 full year, everybody was satisfied that Krishna is personally. They forgot everything. Lord does. We also see in the first or second canto, Atri Rishi. Atri Rishi also wanted a son like God, but he didn't know who God was. Incomplete knowledge again. And that is where Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, all 3 come. And then 3 kids are born from their energies. Then we see Mata Aditi. What is she calling Lord Vishnu for? She says, you know, my Lord, my kids have lost their property. Please get them back their property. She's calling the Lord, the Supreme Lord, for what? My sons have lost their properties. And that is where Kashyap Rishi is saying, my goodness, this is the supreme Maya of the Lord, bewildering a jiva, that they are calling the Supreme Lord to get back the property. Kardam Muni didn't ask the Lord to come as his son. Lord came. Lord became his son. But the point is, where does all this end? It ends in 2 things. Yada yada hi dharmasya, 4.7, and 4.8, paritranaya sadhuna. These 2 shloka. It will end there. Krishna told the Vrajvasis, 11 years of association with me and rest 115 years of separation from me. This is what he gave them. 115 years of separation. In 125 years that Krishna stayed on this planet. 115 years of separation. Can you imagine that? It's too much. You know that the Lord is here, but you cannot see him. You cannot meet him. Because he's so busy in what? Paritranaya sadhunam. He is very clear. He is very clear. And then you may say, but if I have a desire to have the Lord as my son, he says, here I will give you trailer for the whole movie. You come there in Golok. I will give you that facility. That is what he did to Putna. Somewhere she had that, in her previous life, she had that desire to have the Lord as her son. And that he fulfilled where? In full-fledged where? He gave her the role of a mother, a Dhatri in Golok. He didn't give her here. Rajvasi also only 1 year. 1 year to all, and rest 11 years to Mata Yashoda and Nanda Baba. If we said you want full movie, come there, Golok Vrindavan. It is not here. Here only 2 things, Yada Yadai Dharmasya and Paritranaya Sadhuna. His goal is very clear. Material world is not the place for Leela. You only get a trailer, develop that higher taste and leave this place. Lord is very clear. He says, I'll fulfill all your desires, but not here. This place is not the right place. It is not the right place. Because this place is filled with envious people. You can see 10th canto, the Lord is with the Gopikas, and the Dvivida gorilla is coming and he's so envious and there is a fight. What is this? This is not a place. Not the right place. We are not saying that the Lord doesn't perform it, but this place is not complete for that Leela. So Prabhupada is focusing the knowledge about the Lord and what he has come to give has to be very clear. Or Lord will be before us and we will be asking him for something petty. Just like Kai. What did she say? The Lord is standing before her. She said, you go to forest and let my son become the king. Duryodhana is there. Lord Krishna is standing before him. He says, I don't want you. You give me your Narayani Sena. I'm not interested in you. Same thing happened with Dhruva. He asked for some position and later up he landed in trouble. 36,000 years he had to wait here. Aditi asking well for her sons. So the point is we have to be very cautious of what we are asking from the Lord. Chitraketu Maharaj worshipped Lord Sankarshan. He became the king of Gandharva-loka. And when he reached that position, there was some trace that was left in him. He felt, I can speak anything. And that is how he got trapped. So what to ask from the Lord has to be very cautious. The point we are trying to drive is, do we have the right knowledge about the Lord and what he has come to give us? Dhruva struggled so much for 6 months for that wealth. Sudama got without asking. Did Vibhishan ask for Lanka? I will worship you, give me Lanka, golden Lanka. They got even without asking. The Acharyas say the time when Vibhishan bowed down to the Lord, he was searching, what should I give him? What should I give him? He found only one place which was, he said it is at least some good. That is how he gave Lanka. They didn't ask. Lord knows everything. So that knowledge has to be right about the Lord and what he has come to give. If yes, then it is shown by our clarity in goal of life and our purpose of life. We have to check every day the goal of life and the purpose of life. If these two things are, you feel are clear, then you have to check whether are they coming in the right knowledge. So sometimes we see that parents are in great anxiety about their kids. I want a son, I want a devotee son, I want a devotee son, and they somehow get a son or a daughter and they find he's not becoming a devotee. So much of anxiety and botheration. My God, every now and then there so much of anxiety for devotee parents. Lord Chaitanya as Nimai Pandit. Now who is Lord Chaitanya? We all know is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. But when he was acting as Nimai Pandit, all devotees were fed up with his logic and they were praying intensely, when will this Nimai Pandit become devotee? We don't want, just somehow, my dear Lord, make him devotee. All devotees are praying intensely, and then he goes to Gaya and there he meets his Guru Maharaj, and that's it. His life, material part of his life is over. When he comes back, he is a full-fledged devotee and everybody is celebrating. Point is, devotee son or devotee daughter, somebody can become only by the blessings of devotee. Or he has already achieved the blessings of devotee and then he may come. But ultimately, blessings of devotee are required. To have a son is good, but the purpose of having a son is not to show that I have Supreme Lord as my son. No, the purpose of having the Supreme Lord as your son is to serve him in his mission. That is the right purpose. That means you have the right knowledge. Who is a son or who is a daughter? Who continues the legacy of the parents. We see Lord Vamandev glorifying Bali for his entire lineage. So he's glorifying left, right. He's saying you have this person and he did this thing, and you had this person and he gave so much of charity. Arjuna in first chapter is called by so many names. Why? Because he had a great lineage. That is why. That's a positive side, but that can be a negative side also. if you don't train them properly. Kaikai was chastised by Sumantra. And he compared Kaikai to whom? To his mother. He's saying that your mother also acted selfish, and that is how you are acting selfish. In the 4th canto, we see King Vane. He, more than seeing towards his pious father, he was already seen from the negative side of his mother, because his mother was the daughter of Mrityu. So son or daughter is he who continues the legacy of the parents. So if you want a son or a daughter, that is not wrong. But what legacy are we giving him to continue? That is the point. That is the service for the mission. And the Lord expects that. Because our society needs leader. The most important thing that our society needs right now is nothing but leaders. And we are not supposed to search leaders outside. The second generation, third generation, they will be the leaders. We have to search and create leaders from our own devotees who are trained initially right in the principles of what Lord Chaitanya wanted to teach. And one such great devotee today is who's Purushottam Das Thakur, and I'll speak little because not much is given. I couldn't find much about him. Some basic things I could find. I'll just repeat that. In the Gaur Ganodesh Deepika, Purushottam Das Thakur is named as a cowherd boy who is among the Dwadasha Gopas, means the 12 very, very intimate friends of Lord Krishna, and his name is Daman in Krishna Leela. And that Daman, the cowherd boy, has come here as Purushottam Das Thakur. And Purushottam Das Thakur was the son of Sadashiv. And who was the Sadashiv? He was incarnation of Chandravali Sakhi, and his son, Sadashiv's son, was Purushottam Das Thakur, and they lived in an area called as Suksagar. Chaitanya Charitamrita also mentions him as one of the great devotees and chief associates of Lord Chaitanya. It is said that Lord Nityananda, and Lord Nityananda was acting through him, and that is how he was spreading this mission of Lord Chaitanya in different towns and places. Right from his childhood, he was completely absorbed in the thoughts of Lord Chaitanya. And he had, just like Uddhava, he had his Krishna deities and Krishna dolls, and he was completely absorbed in playing with them, serving the Lord. Later on, Purushottam Thakur was married, and he had a son named Kanu Thakur. And when his son was very young, his wife died, and that is when Mata Janva, the wife of Lord Nityananda, she adopted this Kanu Thakur, and she took him to Vrindavan. And there is a story about Kanu Thakur. It is said that once when he was in Vrindavan, where Mata Janva took him, so he was dancing in ecstasy of Lord Krishna's in the Harinam Sankirtan. And what happened? All of a sudden, his ankle bell flew off. And he's dancing in Vrindavan, and his ankle bell flew. And he vowed that wherever I find this ankle bell, I'll establish my main center there. And he was dancing in Vrindavan, and he found that in Jessore district in Odisha, and that is where he created his mutt. So Purushottam Das Thakur stayed in Suksagar, and he installed his deities in Beladanga. And what happened was, this temple was very close to the river. So once the entire temple was washed off, and they shifted the deities from there to Suksagar. There also the same thing happened. The whole temple was washed off by Mother Ganga, and then they brought it to Siha Badanga. And even there, this place, the temple got destroyed. And from there, they took it to Chandure Gram, which is also on the banks of river Ganga. And Devkinandan Das, he writes in his Vaishnava Vandan that I bow down to Purushottam Das Thakur again and again, because I cannot mention his innumerable and incomparable qualities. He is so merciful that just by his glances, he is empowering anybody and everybody with the love of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. So there is one pastime that he mentions, that when he was 7 years, he was so absorbed in this pastimes and mood of Lord Chaitanya and the remembrance of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, that when he was 7 years old, he was so intoxicated with that love that everybody could understand that he is no ordinary person. And in that trance, these are very supernatural pastimes which all the great devotees of Lord Nityananda do. That in that ecstasy, he took a live snake which was going, and he said that he consumed the entire snake, but nothing happened to him. So this is how empowered. So these pastimes are not for us to imitate. They're just showing the power and the strength of one who has been blessed by Lord Chaitanya. So this is one of the wonderful personalities from the Gaur Leela, the eternal associate of Lord Nityananda. So let's pray to him that someday also we have that empowerment from Lord Nityananda, so that we can be of some good use to the Supreme Lord in his purpose of establishing Dharma in this material world. Thank you all for your kind and patient hearing. If I have spoken something beyond my understanding, please kindly forgive me for my improper words. And whatever I have is just I'm taking from Prabhupada's purport and hearing from senior devotees. So please keep me in your prayers. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very so much, Prabhuji. That was a wonderful, wonderful class. And thank you very so much for sharing the wonderful realizations. And it was, we should not ask anything to Krishna. Krishna knows what to give us. So that was a wonderful realization. You have explained like how to glorify the Krishna. Okay, we are comparing with the moon. No, there is a dark, so it's not good. So we cannot find anything like so many devotees. So that was a wonderful realization. Thank you very so much for sharing.
Thank you.
I request devotees, please unmute yourself and please go ahead and share your realizations or the questions for Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji, Navadvip Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Very nice lecture, Prabhuji. So when you mentioned about Trishanku and you said that his Swarga was upside down, I didn't follow. So where is it at this point?
He created that planet, which was natural like other planets. But since Trishanku was not qualified to enter the Swarga, so he was allowed to enter this Swarga, which was created by Vishwamitra Muni. But just like ordinary or any person who lives on the planet, he stands like us as we do. But because of his transgression of the laws, he is hanging there in the planet. Trishanku only. Rest, he is in a place which is similar to the Swarga. Rest, all people are ordinary, similar to us. But he is hanging upside down because the only thing is he transgressed the laws of Lord Krishna.
So that means he is not enjoying the pleasures of
Sarvata. No, absolutely not. You're right. Correct.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol.
I want to say that from your class that we have to connect to Krishna. Like when he connects to that tree.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, the voice was not clear. Mataji couldn't understand what Vrinda said.
How to connect with Krishna? Is that the question, Vrinda?
have to
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. She was just sharing her realization that she was telling.
Oh, so sweet. Sorry, Mataji, we couldn't hear. We are so sorry. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for beautiful.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam. Very, very inspiring class as usual. Srila Prabhupada, Syllable Wave, Shri Radha Gopinath Ki Jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Anant
Hare
Koti
Krishna.
Dandavat.
Thank you, Mataji.
Shamagori Mataji, yeah, you're.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Very,
Yes,
very
Mataji.
beautiful class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It is all credit goes to you, Mataji.
No, Prabhuji.
We are your order carriers. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So if we don't have questions, then can we? Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you for the enlightening class, Prabhuji. Like I have a little doubt.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Was King Nabi having this I don't like, he must have felt that if King like Lord appears in my family, he would also help others in achieving liberation, right? So was he having a hint of it, like people will also be benefited when Lord appears in my family, or is it just like for his own factor?
Yes, that is what the Acharyas mention, and that is why it is said as a petty desire. Petty desire means I am concerned with myself, and there is no broad-mindedness, just like you are suggesting. What you are suggesting is a broad-minded perspective, that it will help others. But since it is not a broad perspective, that is why the Acharyas are saying it was a petty desire. Means that it was limited to himself. So that mood was not there.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Thank you.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, devotees, please go ahead if you have any further questions for Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Yes.
Is it okay? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, if you do not have any further questions, we can end the session here. Once again, thank you very, very so much, Prabhuji, for a very enlightening class today, and we are very grateful to you. We look forward for your association again and again in the future.
Thank you.
Let's all pay our obeisances to Prabhuji. Pancha kalpatarubhyasya, Vatlana papabhyo, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So, yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Now, Gaur Mandal Parikrama. Hare Krishna. Padma Sakhi Mataji, are you there?
Mataji, I am there, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. You can go ahead.
Yes,
Thank you very much, Padma Sakhi Mataji, for taking us to Shridham, Mayapur and Navadvip Dham, and yesterday you took us to Antardvip.
Thank you, Masham Gauri Mataji. As Prabhuji was saying, we have to thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji. So we will start our day 2, the second island, Srimad today. But before we start, we will just we will just do a humble prayer, so that we will go with the humble mood. Let's take the blessings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Panchatattva, Srimati Radharani, Sri Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, and all the Acharyas and all the assembled devotees. Okay, let's start. Mataji, just give me 1 minute. I will close it. So as we discussed, every island represents one devotional service. Antardvip was Atma Nivedanam and Simantadvip is Smaranam. So these are the important places that we are going to see there, and there are few like other small places also, but these are the main. That is Simantini Mandir, Chandkazi Samadhi, Sri Jagannath Temple, Maya Mari, Madan Gopal Temple. So we will see. So first thing is, why was this island named as Simantadvip? So there's a very interesting story. We all know that Lord Shiva, he resides in Kailash. So one time what happens, there were 2-3 small difference in different, like in the story I'm going to say, there are like few differences. I will say that also. So what happens first is, in Kailash, Lord Shiva will be dancing, like, you know, he's in ecstasy, he's dancing, and he's saying the name of Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. And Mother Parvati was not understanding, and she was asking, like, you know, what's happening? What are the new names that you are taking? Like new name, I have never heard you so ecstatic. I have never heard this name. So what is happening? Then and she will also say that this is not the time of pralaya. You know, when you're doing like so much dance, then there are storms coming, there are floods coming, there is lot of disturbance, so you have to stop. Then Shiva, you know, he stops, and then he says that, hey Parvati. Then he will say about Gauranga Mahaprabhu, how he's going to come as most merciful incarnation to just freely distribute the love of God. Then Parvati, like, she will say, just by hearing, like, you know, I feel like so ecstatic just by seeing you, just by hearing the name that you are reciting. I'm feeling so, you know, so good. And what will she do? She will go, she will come to Navadvip, to this particular place, and she will start doing austerities. And when Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu appears, she will start saying, oh my Lord, you know, they say that wherever there is Krishna, Maya cannot come. And you have given me the service of being like, you know, Maya Devi in this material world, just taking care of the people who can't, you know, who are very materialistic. Then, you know, this is like a punishment for me. How will I, you know, then how will I come to you? Wherever I am, they're saying we cannot, you know, reach you, we cannot come to you. Then what is my situation? I'm feeling very sad. Like that, she'll feel very sad. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will say that, like, you know, whatever Leela I am doing, it is not possible if you are not there. You are the Yoga Maya. You do like, you know, all the leelas that I do, it is because of you. So you're always there with me. Don't think you're not there with me. And he says that in Golok Vrindavan, you come as Purnamasi, and here in Navadvip, you'll come as Praudha Maya Devi, which we will be seeing in the other Dweep. I think Koladvip, if I'm not wrong. So he will say that. And when he was about to leave, Parvati, she will take the dust off his foot, and she will apply it here. This is the partition where we keep sindoor. So that's called Simantini. So that's why this deep is called as Simantadvip. And in other place, it's mentioned that actually Shiva was taking the names of all the associates of Lord's devotees who are going to come in Gaura Leela. So he was saying all those names. And then Parvati doesn't understand, and she says that, you know, who are these names? I have never heard all these names. And then when Shiva explains, she understands that. She says that, oh, now I understand. Maybe when the Lord comes in his next avatar, then all these devotees are going to come along with the Lord. So many times, you know, we take devotee, like we don't care for devotees. We just, give lot of complaints, so many things. So I am just praying that I will never offend the devotees, and I am praying that I will always be in the heart of these devotees who are going to come to serve Supreme Lord. Then when she comes to do austerities, that is the same thing she asked Gauranga Mahaprabhu. When he asked, like, what do you want? You want a boon? Then she says that I don't want to offend any devotee, and I always want to be in the heart of the devotees who are going to come and help you in your next avatar. So that is why this island is named as Mantadvip. And if you can see here, Mother Parvati, she's talking, like she's asking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he appeared. This is there in the Simantani Mandir. We will see that also. There's a video of it. So then the first place we are seeing will be Chand Kazi Samadhi. Okay. So the first place we are seeing is okay, Chand Kazi Samadhi. So we all know how Chand Kazi, he was not liking Sankirtan, so that's another story. But finally he surrenders to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then So what happens is, so this location is from Srivas, from Srivas Angan, they went in a procession to Chand Kazi's house. We know the pastime that finally where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks to Chand Kazi, and after that incident has happened, that night who will come in Chand Kazi's dream? Narsimhadev will come, and Narsimhadev will chastise, and he will start punching, and he will say, then Chand Kazi will get so scared, and the next day morning he understands. He comes and says, like, I understand what kind of personality you are, and he will surrender to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraces him. So the speciality here in the Chand Kazi Samadhis, I remember this very well. Recently I have been here. So see, these two trees are intertwined. So they say one tree is the neem tree. Chand Kazi's other name is Champa Kazi. So the Champa tree which is there is Chand Kazi, and the neem tree is our Nimai. So the Lord and Chand Kazi, they're embracing each other. And this Champa tree speciality is throughout the year you will get Champa flowers. They always come. Very nice, beautiful. They smell so nicely, Champa flowers. And also Chand Kazi is Kamsa. Kamsa in his previous avatar, like incarnation, when Krishna came, he came as Kamsa. Now when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he came as Chand Kazi. And if you see in Krishna Leela, what did Krishna do? Krishna killed Kamsa, but we know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful that this Leela, when he came as Chand Kazi, he didn't do that. Rather, he accepted him. So that's how Audarya, how merciful Lord Chaitanya is. So this is Chand Kazi Samadhi. And also that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to call Chand Kazi as Mama, uncle. So now this is very, 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 very interesting and very beautiful place. Rajapur Jagannath Mandir. Most of you all must have been there. So this is the entrance. So there are so many. Yeah, I'll tell them. There are so many pastimes. There are so many realistic pastimes. But before that, we will see like what has happened. So we know that Lord Jagannath resides in Jagannath Puri Dham. Then what happened? It's okay, eat. So he resides in Jagannath Puri Dham. So once in the 7th century, there was a demoniac king named Raktabahu. And what he was doing, he was attacking all the temples, and he was doing all the demoniac things. Then the Pandals, the Shabaras, who take care of, if you see in Jagannath Puri, there are particular sect of people who will take care of Jagannath. They are only allowed to take care, do the worship and taking care. So they were so worried. They were thinking, now what should we do? Is coming and attacking. Now what will happen? Like, what should we do with our Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra? Like that they will be thinking. And then Lord appears in the dream of the priest, and he will say, it's okay, nobody can do anything to me, don't worry, but please take me to Bengal. And he will say, take me to this Rajapur, this particular place. And those days there's no transportation. Imagine in 7th century there's nothing. Not even bullock carts could be, not even that, those were there. So what will they do? the Shabaras, the Pandals, they're very experts in carrying Jagannath very carefully. So they will carry Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra all the way from Orissa to this Rajapur in 12 days. They took 12 days, and then they'll come here. They stayed here for a while, and then Lord liked this place, and they expressed the desire that he wanted to stay back here. But after a few days, after the Raktabahus, the demoniac king's atrocities have settled down, then the Shabaras, they took the deity and went back. But it is said that though the deities left, the Lord was staying here eternally. The Lord was still here because he liked this place so much. And the village during that stay, where during the time where the Shabaras were staying here with the deities, they lived in a village called Shabara Dhanga. As I said, these are all Bengali names. Maybe my pronunciation is not correct. If anybody knows correct, please correct me. So that's the pastime, how the deities came from Orissa till here. And Rajapur Jagannath Mandir is non-different from our Jagannath Puri temple, the Nilachal Dham. It's non-different, and Lord can, like Jagannath, can manifest and unmanifest, but it is said that at this Jagannath Puri, at this Rajapur Mandir, is eternally, is always staying there. So I very well remember the first time, when my Prabhu went here. So he went with another Prabhu, and by the time they reached, he was so hungry. They were going, as soon as they went to Mayapur, they just went for the yatra, and then when they came here, my Prabhu was saying he was very hungry. Then the Prabhu with whom my Prabhu was there has mentioned that don't worry, Jagannath will not let you go with hunger. So as soon as they went here, they will serve such a nice prasad that that you cannot even eat, like so many varieties, so much food. So they nicely, Jagannath's mercy, they nicely fed. And then my Prabhu, that time I didn't go, so my Prabhu shared this, like how when he was hungry, Lord Jagannath, fulfilled his hunger. Then what happened the next time when I went also, then we went, and they were feeding and feeding and feeding, because we know one Prabhu there. He just took us. There was one room where they served the Mahaprasad, which was offered to Jagannath deities. And then my kids were not able to eat so much food, lots of varieties. Mataji, eat more. Mataji, eat more. So tasty. So maybe next time if you go, you should try to actually go there. The kheer, my son is reminding that the kheer is so tasty. So these are the deities. These are the deities that we see in Rajapur Jagannath Mandir. And then see, this is the aerial view. So then what happened, as we said in 7th century, like how did they come? And now ISKCON is taking care of this temple. So there's a story how in 1978 the deities were the temple worship was given to ISKCON. Like ISKCON started taking care in 1978 Gaur Purnima. So what happened was, when Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he used to live in Puri. He was there for 18 years. So the devotees in Bengal, they would go at least, during the Chaturya Mas, they would go there and spend time with the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then there was one devotee called Jagadisha Ganguly. Then what happened, the 1 year he was not able to go because his health was so spoiled and he became blind. So because he was blind, it's very, very difficult. Those days, no transportation. So he had to stay back. And he was feeling so bad that he couldn't go, and all the other devotees went. Then the Lord appeared in his dream, and he said, do not worry, I am not leaving this place. I am always there here eternally. So don't worry. So he will say, tomorrow morning, when you go to take bath in Ganges, I will come in the form of a log and I will touch your head. So bring that log and get the deities carved. Myself, my brother and my sister, Baladev and Shubhadra also. So next day, this Jagdish Ganguly will go to Ganga, he will take bath, and the log comes. He will take that log, and he will take that log to a particular person, to a carpenter whom the Lord has mentioned in the dream. But that person has leprosy. He will say that, oh, right now, maybe I will not be in a position to carve the deities. But then Jagdish Ganguly will keep, insisting. He will be saying, no, you have to do. And then this person, this carpenter with the leprosy hands, he started doing. He will start carving the deities, and then finally, by the time he finished, all the leprosy is gone. While he was carving, also the blood started oozing, and all that was all the trouble was happening. But by the end, everything was gone. He became disease free. Then they started worshipping these deities here in Rajapur. But what happened eventually, after Jagadish Ganguly, he was taking care of the deities. After he left, what happened? The deities were neglected. And you know what? The deities were so neglected that the anthill formed under them. Then how did they know again? Then how did they knew about this? Deity, about these deities. So one time, a villager, he was walking by, and when he saw this ant hill, he saw a different color, bluish, a different type of bluish flower. Then when that bluish flower, his name was Jaimini. He went to see that bluish flower. Then what happened? So somebody from inside was saying, "Give me water, give me water." And then when he was so surprised, what has happened, and when they were trying to, when then he tried to see, then he saw the Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra deities. So surprising thing is, so anthill is ants, the termites. So we know what the termites do to the wood, right? So definitely they will eat away all the wood, but nothing happened to the deities. There was no harm. I think like after 500 years also, the deities were just so nice and so neat. Then this Jaimini was taking care, and right now the Rajapur Mandir, which the temple is built, the landowner's name was Pratik Chatterjee. So now this Pratik Chatterjee also, so first Jagdish Ganguly was taking care, then anthill was formed, then this Jaimini found the deities under the anthill, then he along with Pratik Chatterjee took care of the deities, and they built this temple. But after Pratik Chatterjee also, started, he's aging up. They didn't want the mistake to happen again. So in 1978, on the Gaur Purnima day, they said, like, they asked the ISKCON people to take over. So now ISKCON devotees are taking care of this beautiful temple and the deities. This is how you enter. And actually, so there are so many pastimes. What's the time? So 8:40. We can share a few. So Jagannath is so merciful that last time when we went also, the puja, I don't think it's a pujari. There's one brahmachari. He was explaining like how they say about Narsimhadev, Mayapur Narsimhadev, so merciful. And in fact, there's a book written on the realistic pastimes of how Lord Narsimhadev is so merciful. So similarly, even Pankajangri Prabhu also explains, these pastimes, that one time, like initially when they took over, they started offering food. But it seems they went and checked with His Holiness Jayapatak Swami Maharaj, and Maharaj said, no, that land and all has lot of legal issues. So maybe right now you just stop. But Maharaj didn't know that they already started offering the food to the deities. He didn't know that. He just said maybe right now we have to wait for some time to take care of the deities. Then so they stopped. They were not taking care. Then in the dream of Pujari, what happened? Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra were running away from the temple. And then they asked, like this Pujari was asking in the dream, like, where are you going? Where are you going? And they started saying that we are going to Radha Madhav temple, because I forgot to say one thing. The thing is, when they were offering food to Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, initially they were bringing the prasad from the Radha Madhav temple, because there were no much facilities at this area then in 1978. They were bringing prasad from there. And then they stopped. Then the deity started running, saying, we are going to Jagannath Radha Madhav temple, because there they will feed us lot of prasad. Here you are not feeding. Then they went and explained the dream to His Holiness Jayapatak Swami Maharaj, and Maharaj said, oh, you already started taking care, then you should not stop. So you have to continue. and they continued. So that's one pastime. And another time, what happened was, when we take the bhoga, the offering to the deities, we cover it, right? So one time this pujari forgot to cover. He didn't cover, and but he couldn't even leave the plate there and go, because he was thinking, if I leave to bring the something, some he was for some reason he was not doing that. He was walking with the plate and something fell on the plate. Only he knows. There was nobody to see. Only he knows. But he removed it and he offered. And after some time, there was one lady who came and she said, like, she started chastising, saying that you know that you have to be very careful with the deities? Don't you know that? Like, you're offering without the covering the offering plate. Then he was so surprised. How come, this is possible? Nobody was there around me. Nobody didn't see me, like that. So very miraculous things happen, that they just talk like norm. It's very, sometimes when they say DCTs are very reciprocative, it's very difficult to understand. But when we hear this, at least we can, we can get inspiration to take very good care of our DTs, so that they can also reciprocate with us. And another time, the pujari was offering food and he didn't have tulasi. So if he has to leave the plate, go bring the tulasi, then he was thinking, like, because as I said, that time it's not much covered. There are so many kids playing around, and they were thinking, what will happen if the kid, spoils the food. So he didn't offer tulasi, but he was feeling very bad. But mentally he offered without tulasi. He just mentally offered the tulasi, and he left the place. When he came to take the bhoga, what happened was, he saw a pile of tulasi leaves on top of rice. So see, Jagannath fulfilled his desire. He didn't even know from where the tulasi leaf had come. So that is one pastime. Another pastime is that, during Ratha Yatra, there is one during the Ratha Yatra of these deities, the prasad is distributed, right? So one boy, he takes one more, like, little more prasad, and he says, this is for my friend. He's waiting outside. So he'll say, I'll go and take this, and he will offer it to the friend. He will take it and he will offer to the friend. And this friend is a Muslim. So he says, no, we don't accept all these things, and he will throw the prasad. Then that night, what happens in that boy's dream? Balram will come and he will be punching, and he will say, how dare you do that? You threw the prasad. And then Subhadra Maya was there laughing, and Jagannath was also doing, all three of them, but punching and doing, just chastising him. The next day morning, this boy comes to the temple, he offers prasad, and he accepts the prasad also. So there are so many pastimes like that we can say. I think we have to stop the pastimes here because it's time. So they are so merciful. So we'll please take their blessings. And this is the Simantani Mandir that we were talking about. So we'll see Mother Parvati is here. So when we come to here, just like she asked for a benediction that she will not have a quality, she will have a quality of not criticizing devotees. We should also pray for that here. She's so beautiful. And here in this complex also, you will see this Shivalinga, and there's a Kalpavriksha tree. And the speciality of the Shivling is he is so ecstatic, participating in Gauranga Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan, that he grows in size. He grows in size, and this is the Kalpavriksha tree. Wish fulfilling desire tree is also there here. And then the place Maya, there is actually lines on top. So Maya Mari. So this is the place. Location is, if you come southwest of Jagannath temple. So one time Baladev comes to Tirtha Yatra and he stopped here at Navadvip, and then villagers complained about an Asura, about a demon, Maya Asura, and Balaram killed him. Mari means killing. Maya, this is that Asura's name. So that's why this place is called Maya Mari. So this place is not different from Thalavan. It's mentioned in Navadvip Dan Mahatmya, written by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And then we'll come to Belpukur or Bilva Paksha. So this is the Bilva tree. This place is non-different from the Bilva one in Vrindavan. We have seen that Bilva one where Mother Lakshmi ji is performing tapasya even till today. So here, so the pastime here is very, very Interesting. So what happens is, so the pasam is Shiva. With Shiva is like, I was trying to know why Shiva has 5 heads since we saw Chakleshwar Mahadev. If anyone knows the reason, maybe after we end the call, you can please tell. I myself don't know. My kids keep asking why Shiva has 5 heads.
Why does Shiva have 5?
So Panchavakra Shiva is here at this place. So what happens is, once there are like brahmanas who came here and they worshipped Lord Shiva with bilva leaves for a paksha. Okay, for that time, for that period, they have worshipped Lord Shiva for that long, all the brahmanas. Then at the end, Shiva is very merciful, so he comes and he will say that, what do you want? Then they will say, please give us whatever is the best. Then Shiva says that, if you ask me whatever is the best, Krishna Bhakti is the best. Then the brahmanas will say, oh, if Krishna Bhakti is the best, that's the superior, then how can we achieve it? If that is the topmost. Then Shiva will be saying, do not worry. Very soon the Lord is going to come in his golden incarnation as Gauranga and is going to freely distribute Krishna Prema. So he will mention that, then don't worry. Then that time, the Lord is going to appear in a Brahmana family, and all of you are going to be born in the Brahmana families, and you will be, along with him. So don't worry. As we discussed yesterday, that the Gopis and Gopas and Gokul are compared to the Brahmana families when Nimai was born, the neighboring Brahmana families. So the Lord Shiva says that, and all of them will feel happy. They will do the prostrated obeisances. And then of all the Brahmanas, there is one Brahmana called Nimbarka. Later he became Nimbarkaditya. He became Nimbarkacharya. So he is an incarnation of Sudarshan Chakra. So he really did lots of very nice austerity. So Shiva will say, at the end of this village, there is a forest where 4 Kumaras are meditating on the Lord. So if you can go to them, they will give you all the transcendental knowledge. So please go. So then this Nimbarkacharya, he will be going, he will search, and finally he will find the 4 Kumaras meditating there, lot of effulgence, and he will start going, saying the name of Gauranga. Then the 4 Kumaras will open their eyes and they're so happy to see a Vaishnava in front of them. Then he will ask, like, who are you? Why have you been here? Can you please tell? Like that the 4 Kumaras will ask. And then Nimbarkacharya will mention, like, what is his desire. He says that he wants the transcendental love, and he mentions that he wants that superior love. Then the 4 Kumaras will say, in Kali Yuga, God understands how bad the situation is and is going to empower 4 personalities to spread the Bhakti Yoga, and you are one of them. So what they meant were the 4 sampradayas, 4 acharyas: Nimbarkacharya, Vishnu Swami, Ramanujacharya, and Madhvacharya. So the 4 Kumaras mentions that he will say you are one of them. So don't worry, you're very soon. You're going to come, like, God, you're going to assist the Lord. Then the 4 Kumaras will accept him as a disciple, and the 4 Kumaras will give him the mantra. And Nimbarkacharya will be chanting the mantra that the 4 Kumaras have prescribed. And then what happens one day, as he was doing that, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. How does he come? He comes in the Radha and Krishna. Both of them will come, and it's so effulgent. And when he opens, his eyes and he will see Radha and Krishna. Nimbarkacharya is like, he's like so surprised, so shocked, and he will do the prostrated obeisances. And then Lord will say, I will tell you a secret. I am going to come as in Radha Bhav very soon. Radha and Krishna together I'm going to come, but don't reveal it to anybody. And when I come, I'm going to take 2 tattvas from all the 4 sampradayas, and I'm going to give this Krishna Prema very freely. And then he says, when I come, then you will come as Keshava Kashmiri. You will come, you will be born in the state of Kashmir, and you will travel all over India's Digvijay. You will be known as a scholarly person called Keshava Kashmiri. And he will say, you will travel all over India and I will defeat you. And later I will give you the message. Like I will, after that, I will ask you to spread the message of the Lord. So he will explain, he will explain all this to Nimbarkacharya, and he will bless And Nimbarkachari, after Gauranga Mahaprabhu leaves, he will be shedding tears, in ecstasy, he will be crying. So that's all happened at this Belkupur, the Bilva Paksha, that area. So then in this place also, this is the house of Nilambar Chakravarti Thakur. He is the grandfather of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, father of Sachi Mata. So this is the place. And in this, if you go inside, this is the house of Nilambar Chakravarti Thakur, and he has this deity, Madan Gopal deity. This he worshipped, like Nilambar Chakravarti worshipped. And here he was also from Bangladesh, from the place called Shailet. He moved between 1475 and 1490. That is the place from Bangladesh, the Shailet. He moved to this Belkupur, and he came with his wife and daughter Sachi. Ganga was flowing just right next to this place that time, but now it is 6 kilometers away. And this deity is said to be 700-year-old deity. That means Nilambar Chakravarti got it from his ancestors, like that. So they have been having this deity since many years. So this is the beautiful deity of Madan Gopal. Then we will see Rama Tirtha, that is called Rukumpur. So when Balaram was on a Tirtha, we have seen how he killed the Maya demon, Mayasura, and here he killed Kolasura. Kolasura had a lot of mystic powers, and after killing Balaram, he took bath in Ganga. So this, because he has the Kolasura has lot of mystic powers, he surrounded Balaram, for the fight, along with thousands of elephants and lots of chariots. But Balaram, easily defeated Kolasura, and then he took bath here. So this place is now called as Rukumpur. But before it's known as Ramatirtha. Actually, this place Ramachandra also visited, and Nityananda Prabhu also stayed here for some time. After he got married, he stayed here at Rukumpur. And then the last place is Meghera Chara. So Megha, I think, means clouds. So what happened one time, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going on a Sankirtan, and lots of dark clouds started coming. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was like, all the associates around him, they were worried, like, now what will happen to the Sankirtan? Maybe it will rain, maybe we should stop. So they were worried. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with his cloth, he just took his cloth and he waved to the clouds. So the clouds immediately disappeared. So this is the place, and this location is in between Belpupur and Sonadhanga. So this is about Simantadvip. All the places we have covered. Any questions or any corrections, please, you can tell now. And I have some videos also of Chandkazi, Madan Gopal temple and Jagannath Puri temple.
Shall we stop recording, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.